Hi, this is Pete Duel. If you're wondering about why my voice sounds a little different, I've had laryngitis for about 4 or 5 weeks. I don't know how to really get rid of it. Anyway, I'd like to rap with you about land, air, nature in general. I was very fortunate as a kid. I grew up in Penfield, New York, and at that time it was a small country town, surrounded by fields, farms, beautiful woods. It was no accident I grew up loving the outdoors, just doing what came naturally. To make things even better, our vacation time was spent by a lake in northern Ontario, where my brother, sister, and I swam, fished, hiked, and just goofed all summer long, in country almost too lovely to describe. Things have changed a great deal since then. It hasn't been that long. Penfield is no longer a small country town. There are few open fields left, and the woods have been pushed back more each year. But it will always be home, a part of me, because I grew up there. I suppose it's the same for most of us, huh? Nevertheless, it hurts to see the hills torn apart and the forests destroyed by man and his machinery. Do I even have to mention the crud-filled air and polluted water? Whenever I get the chance, and that isn't too often now that we're making Smith & Jones, I desert Hollywood and head for the mountains and keep going until I'm far away from the city's society that pollutes the senses. I get away from man-made sounds that blast the ears, air that clogs the lungs, billboards that offend the eyes, and I search for air that you can't see, natural colors to trip on, and the fragrance of wildflowers and trees and lush meadow grass. I want to enjoy these things as long as I can. At the rate things are going, it might not be too much longer until nothing is left, unless you and I take it upon ourselves to do something about it. We're in trouble. Our complacency has gotten us there. We've all sat back and enjoyed our super-amplified, non-returnable luxury without any consideration of the damage being done. It has taken us 200 years to get where we are now. I wonder how long it'll take to clean up the mess we've ended up with. Will it be cleaned up in time for our children? I doubt it. But we can try, can't we? I believe it's our duty to try, regardless of our chances for success. The future of this country and the rest of the world is in our hands. The environment has got to be cleaned up, and it will be, through the unified efforts of young people like you. You know, I've learned a lot about ecology simply by reading some of the many paperbacks available on the subject. You owe it to yourself to learn more about how you can help clean up the mess that past generations started and the present generation seems willing to perpetuate. I wish I had the opportunity to speak to the students of every school in this country, to encourage them to start a committee on ecology. It's not hard to set up, and the list of beneficial projects you could take on is a long one. You'd find they can not only be satisfying, but interesting, and even fun. Concern for the environment is not a fad, no matter what anybody tells you. It's not something to be involved in today and forgotten tomorrow. It has got to be a continuing fight to make this country a healthier, more beautiful place to live in, for us today and for our kids a few years from now. There are a number of ways I try to help in ecology every day. For instance, I try to buy foods and drinks in glass containers, as glass is easier to recycle. I stay away from cans that can't be reused. I try not to use plastic eating utensils and styrofoam cups that are just thrown away after one usage. I give of my time to ecological groups every chance I get. Now, this all sounds very small because it's just one person. But if we all did it, if we multiplied that by millions, can you imagine what it would accomplish? Can you imagine what would happen if we refused to buy a manufacturer's product because it polluted our environment? They would have to change their products and their packaging, which would make our environment a safer place in which to live. It might hurt their business for a little while, just long enough for them to make the changes that are necessary. I'm more concerned about your health and my health than their business. You know, the greatest pleasure for me as an actor is to please you. And when I do a show and can feel that it gives you pleasure, even if for only a little while, then I can feel that I've contributed something for your enjoyment. Acting is a difficult profession, but I Acting is a difficult profession, but I enjoy it. And I sincerely wish for you a lifetime of pleasure in your work and in your leisure time. And one of the ways to do that is to become involved in those areas that will help make this country a better place to live in. Believe me, you'll find it very satisfying. I want to thank you for listening. I hope you have a good day today and a better one tomorrow.